going to do is I'm going to use the PENN Torque number 5, the ZeeBaaS 25, and Advanced Staal 250. I spooled them all with the same identical line. It's spider wire ultracast Invisibraid 30-pound test line, so they're all spooled the same. And we're going to use CTS vapor trail rod along with the Super Strike heavy little neck. So, but we'll do our best to make a 5 cast with each reel, and then we'll take an average and we'll let you know what exactly is the difference between the reel, if any.
Lou Caruso of Surfcaster's Journal, and today I'm going to show you how to powder coat and tie a bucktail. Alright, there's no mystery to this. It's pretty simple. Once you see it, it's not hard to do. And I'll take it and I'll dip it and swirl it around quick in the powder coat and then bang it off. Now a lot of guys will just take this and hang it up, but the trick to this is putting it back in the toaster oven and letting it cook for another 15 minutes. I'm going to wrap and I'm going to build this up some so I don't have that big flare. Now when I cut this hair, I usually take it and strip out on the back end. You want to keep this as thin as possible. Any short fibers that are in there. Okay, and then it's a matter of putting your hairs on and giving a few wraps. Now you want to, this takes a little bit of a feel because you want to pull it tight, but you don't want to pull it so tight that it does this. Watch, when I pull it tight, it'll start to flare on me and this will be all over the place.
Progressed because I started making plugs and I started catching fish, and guys would say you should go and start selling plugs on the beach to guys, and I never really did that. But what happened was in 1960 I was fishing underneath the Atlantic Beach Bridge and I met 2 of Dan's buddies, Joe and Al. In 1966 when I moved into the house, Dan said he just ordered a lathe from Sears and he says let's start, he says now that you're in a house, order a lathe and we'll start making plugs together. And we never did any of this until 1966. Comrade was a man up in Cape Cod. He had a son, Joe Caporetta. They were fishing the race. I didn't find this out until years later, how he got a hold of the plug. But Joe Caporetta found the plug. It was Montauk started in where they weren't having big fat bait. We were losing the bunkers, we were losing big bait. And I knew that when you were throwing the darters, we weren't getting fish, and Gibbs' darter was starting to take a lot of fish, where the big darter was the primitive fish that was taking all the fish. I said, I got to start making a narrower darter. And Campo turned around, he used it over near Sag Harbor, and he come back and he told me, he was the first one to try it out, actually fishing out east. And he got some off me, and he says to me, Don, he says, don't change the thing on that dart, he says, because it just kills fish. Angelo and I can't remember the other guy, they used to go up to the Cape, and they asked me, hey Don, could you make a jointed darter? And I did. I turned around and come out with a jointed darter. And then they said, could you make a jointed bottle plug? And I did that. Well, that there went over, but I didn't make a lot. It was just way too much work. And I think I was only charging like $6 for that plug back then, which was ridiculous. The difference in wood and plastics is it's uniform. Everything else is down to about 1/1000th of an inch. Everything is exact. It doesn't draw water. When you make a wooden plug, you're always going to get a certain amount of water in it, no matter what. And you never know where the poorest part of the plug is going to be. It can be in the top, it can be in the bottom, it can be in the sides. If it's in the bottom, it's not bad. But it's like what happens to your doors in August. Just from humidity, they start sticking, the drawers start sticking. Now you're putting the plugs in the water. Weigh your plug before you start using it, and then weigh it a couple hours after and see the difference. I knew I had to get out of wood.